Still laughing at that. Just they took themselves out by stepping on their own landmines. Let's keep looking around. Ow! Ouch! Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, hello everybody. Hello friends. We are back. We are back out into the world of the Outer Worlds. It is time to continue our exploration of the planet of this planet that we find ourselves on. Ooh. Uh-oh. Well, let's go ahead and we've taken enough time side questing about. So let's continue on our main objective. We have to speak to this Reed Thompson fellow.
Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting Saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
I'll wait until you're finished.
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
Are you Reed? I was told I should talk to you.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform.
I don't work for Spacer's Choice.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
I'll come out and say it. My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Oh, really? Let's hear it.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Okay, when you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
I don't think these people would take kindly to losing their power.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Okay, why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
I've seen Edgewater. Frankly, I don't blame these workers for walking out.
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
Oh, I recognize Adelaide.
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
And if Adelaide doesn't want to come back?
That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
I can't make any promises.
Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith, for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you.
Sure, I could use the company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. Gain the companion. Alright. So we have a companion in the name of Parvati. Come on, Parvati, let us get going.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
Sure.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Figures. Reed didn't exactly strike me as the most honest soul.
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Well, I can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
I suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop on by.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Alright.
complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison. Anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
Ravani wanted to talk to you about what Reed asked us to do.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
No, you
You
talk.
wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
Well, cut off power to Adelaide's deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
What do you think of Adelaide's group, Vicar?
They've rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Depends on how well the leader can provide behind your walls, beyond your walls.
Astute. But I am here, not in the deserter camp. So that's not a variable I can account for.
Okay, so what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Right. Is that even possible?
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
I've been outside. And why is that?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Why would a vicar be after a banned heretical book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
I'll need to know more about this book before I can agree to this.
It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
Okay, we'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Alright, level up. Look around a little bit. Okay. That's for the now comes of power. Ooh, okay, so we go. Okay, we'll take care of that first. Let's go get that contraband before we go any further, I guess. Okay. And according to the tracker, we go down this road. Uh-huh. And we got marauders. We got canids over here. I just got the letter today. Corporate ordered me to relocate to the Edgewater Cannery effective immediately. It's a shame. I'm really looking forward to running my own gift shop at the community center. Selling rare memorabilia. But scripture tells us that all things happen for a reason. Work fortifies the spirit and all. As for my book collection, I can't bear to part with it. Don't want those books moldering in some contraband locker. So stash them all the way in a cave over by the river. Oh, joy. I find I must disagree with your theories about the Earth Directorate's place in the colonial system. Sadly, as much as I appreciate the board and the new frontier they've opened up for us, I believe Halcyon and all other colonies on the rim of the galaxy would fall to pieces or war amongst themselves if the Earth Directorate wasn't around to regulate trade and settle disputes. Do you think the corporations would accept the mandated inclusion of an Earth Minister if they had a choice in the matter? Of course, I never dispute that Earth is part of the whole human system, but the real adventure and independent spirit upon which humankind truly thrives is to be found out there, here amongst the furthest colonies. Okay, so it's a philosophical debate. Okay. Ooh, pretty. Uh-oh. What does it say? Journal of M. Bacano. Ooh, all sorts of stuff. Okay, hold on. Uh-oh. Got a bad feeling. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a geothermal plant, if I'm looking at that right. Yeah, that's a geothermal plant, so we're not gonna go there yet. Orthrus! Oh god! Oh god! Ooh. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning on the streets I've been alone. And I think it's gonna be a long time to touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no. Rocket man.
Not since that little incident.
What incident?
Ask her if you care. I'm running a business here.
I won't touch anything while we're in here, Mr. Moreau. I promise.
Alright. What did you do, Parvati? Oh yeah, I believe there's some things we can do at the bench. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we can tinker. There we go.
Hello, baby.
The brand of choice?
I know what you wanna say. I'm gonna stop you right there. All right, we have the journals. Let's go ahead and head on back to that.
Any progress on that matter we discussed?
I got your book right here.
Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this French? I can't fucking read French.
Well,
It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn.
you didn't want that book to keep others from reading it. You just wanted it for yourself.
Well, yes. But I assure you, it was not for personal gain, only for the greater good. I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted.
Well, at least you still have your mission here, work here, to give your life a meaningful purpose.
Please. As if my life should have no greater meaning than proselytizing to a bunch of feeble-minded wretches. Nothing could be more excruciating than discussing the true nature of reality with people who have no interest beyond their next Aetherwave program. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport. You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew.
The beneficial arrangement. You need to ride out of town. I wouldn't mind a ship hand.
Certainly. I already gave you most of my money, but I can offer you free spiritual counseling, and I'd be happy to watch your back. I'm pretty handy with a tossball stick, or any blunt instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well.
Spiritual counseling. Are you even a real vicar?
Of course. I'm a vicar who is dedicated to his calling. More dedicated than any other you'll find in this colony. I joined the OSI to help decipher the grand plan. But instead, I ended up the vicar in a prison due to ignorance and politics. Then I came here. Satisfied?
Okay, I don't think you're being completely honest with me about that book. What's the story?
It's the journal of one of the originators of the Philosopher's School of Thought, though it would be more than a century before it was perverted into that belief system. Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of that came later. Bokonu had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan.
Alright. And how do you get assigned to prison duty?
Most laypeople are not aware of this, but we've not discovered any new insights into the plan for a long, long time. I had an idea that we should welcome the truth, no matter where we found it. I had the worse idea to share my thoughts with a superior. And that's the long and short of it. So, what do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's
Fantastic. Let me get my things in order and I'll catch up with you.
Bridgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery and to leave this place behind. I shall see you on the ship, Captain, whenever you're ready to leave Emerald Vale.
Alright. Let's take a look around here. Oh, we got company.
Sweeter is the meat. And a slice of Virginia ham.
Don't mess with us.
Don't talk about my baby, tender but she's sweet. Alright. Oh. Uh-oh. 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 Okay. Okay. Perfect. Alright, old wreckage over there. And we've got something over here. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go over this way next.
Now she'd make a first-class fountain pen if she only knew how to write. Her figure's like a piece of string. She rolls up
Canid Howler, Canid Alpha. Ooh.
and I'm a nut.
Oh god! No grave. Oh, so this is where they went to. This is where that note I went to. I read. This is where that guy went. Ooh. Okay. Let's continue exploring. We can't go out into. Oh. We can't go swim. We can't. Oh god. Creepy, 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 creepy. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue on our way. Off to the Emerald Vale Community Center, because that's as far as we got. Let the good times roll. Don't care whether you're young or old. Let the good times roll. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think I came this way. Oh. After sneaking parts out of the industrial sector for a couple of days, I think I finally have everything I need to build my own flying death machine. However, upon closer inspection, I'm not entirely sure all of these components will fit together properly. It's not like the board would build their mechanicals with custom tooled parts, right? Everything would have to be modular for these mechanicals to run efficiently. I'll tool around with things for a bit and see what I can put together. After a few hours of experimentation, things are starting to come together, but I still don't have it down to an exact science. For instance, there's something wrong with the memory processing core that I can't seem to sort out. When I tried to install it, the unit made a loud buzzing sound and refused to respond to any feedback. I removed it, whacked it with a wrench a few times, and that seemed to stop the buzzing. Things seemed like they were working for a few seconds after I installed it again, but now there's a sharp clicking noise every few seconds and the damn thing's right stabilizer won't stop twitching. I'll try removing the processing core again and giving it a few more good whacks. That'll learn it. Okay. I'm guessing that didn't work. I'm guessing that didn't work. Judging from the blast radius here. That'd be a lesson, folks. Don't tamper with things you ought not. I did forget to check out the Edgewater landing pad. I want you so bad. I want you. You so bad. It's driving me mad. It's driving me mad. I want you.
Nicely done.
Ooh. Shit. Wait, we gotta wait for him to get to leave. If it comes to that. Alright, come on, buddy. Get out. Get out of here. I'm gonna need to kill him. I'm afraid I'm gonna need to murk him. And now, ransack the place. Sorry, sir. I really did want you to leave. And if you had left, you would have lived.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Whoa, weapons away. Weapons away.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
What? I'm looking for Adelaide. I need answers.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Reed said something about farmer workers living out here in the wilderness. I'm just trying to talk.
Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Where can I find Adelaide?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Okay, well, we've all got problems. I just got shot into space.
Explains why you're still yammering on it. No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
You know, I could always go looking for her.
Well, looking for Zoe, I leave the camp undefended, seeing as I'm the only one of us who knows her way around the gun. Hence my dilemma.
Well, any idea where she might be hiding?
Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already.
You snooped around her room?
Little ways ago. She was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
I'm not gonna say that. Nope, not gonna say that. Don't worry, I'll find her.
Appreciate it. Honest.
Okay, so this is... Oh, come on, no. Well, in the downtime between these streams, I'm gonna have to try to figure out what is going on with this game that's making it crash seemingly every hour, every time I boot it up. Zoe's journal, page 12. So that's it then. No more Edgewater for me. No more cannery. No more jumpsuits and gloves. Yes, ma'am. Would you like another's? I don't know why I'm writing this down for posterity's sake. Because I've always hated the cannery, and I don't think I'll ever want to look back on this journal many years hence. I think to myself, oh wow, I did hate that Vale once, didn't I? Just because I got sick. Just because I got sick. Everyone gets sick. Well, okay, I got sick and I got a little too much adrenal time. Is that really a crime? I gotta treat myself when I'm sick, don't I? Whatever happened to personal responsibility and surviving by one's own bootstraps? Oh, but you misappropriate one box of adrenal time and suddenly you're committing larceny. That's what I'm gathering is the problem with what we're dealing with here. Well, today's the day, Zoe. Today's the day you take your destiny into your own hands. I'm listening to Grace talk about the marauder threat and the wild three-spirited bandits living in camps out in the hills, warming themselves by the light of barrel fires, probably mounted the heads of their enemies on spikes as a warning to folk like me. Living life of comfort and ease, free of any rules. I bet they could take the whole region if they were organized. I've been tucking away some of Adelaide's food, and I got some spare cans of salt tuna. Should last me a couple of weeks of a ration. Got some Adrena time, too. Everybody loves Adrena time. Even Marauders, right? I got odds those Marauders will let me throw in with them if I dangle a couple of syringes of Adrena time before their eyes. It's gonna be great. Look out, Tier 2. Bandit Queen Zoe's origin story has just begun. Gonna have a whole gang of Marauders at my beck and call. Maybe I can even score some missiles. Oh boy. Shit. There you go. Oh boy. They got fucked by their own minds. Wonder what I'm gonna do, cause there ain't no cure for the summertime blues. I'm still laughing at that. Just they took themselves out by stepping on their own landmines. Let's keep looking around. Ow! Ouch! Fair enough. Fair enough. Ew.
What is it?
I talked to Zoe and coming back.
We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway?
She joined up with a band of Marauders. They hadn't heard her.
Zoe joined up with a band of Marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well, I've heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Thank you. Now let's go talk to Adelaide.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
You must be Adelaide.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
What to say? Reed sent me to make peace with you.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Reed asked you to consider coming back to town. He's willing to make amends.
Make amends? Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
This is serious. I'm about to cut off your power.
You're doing this for Reed? Why?
Your camp has a power regulator. I need it to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
So what have you got against the town?
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scraps Spacer's Choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
I don't much like you throwing that in her face to get me on your side.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
I still don't like it.
It was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear.
What do you have against people trying to make a living?
It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery.
Okay, I guess you have a point.
So, what do you say? Divert power over to us. Shut down that abominable cannery for good.
I'll consider it.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Now, I'm looking at this from both angles here, from both ends. On the one hand, yes, they get to live free out from underneath the board and from Spacer's Choice. However, they are basically at the mercy of whatever's out here. Whether that be marauders or whatever creatures are out there. And they only have one person as a guard that can hold a gun effectively.
Get us all in trouble? What do you think you're doing?
Oops. I'll pay you 37 bits to look the other way.
Payday.
What do you think you're doing?
Nothing at all.
Do what you want, I guess.
Okay. Agreeable. They find me agreeable right now. So I gotta be careful. I gotta be a little bit more careful about about how I steal. Thomas?
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. You're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Never till you start learning. I could give you a couple pointers.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Well, today's your lucky day. I've got one of those data pads you wanted.
No kidding. Really?
Part 1, found in the community center archives.
Look Look at that! Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me.
I'll let you know if I find any others.
Sure, I'd be glad.
All right. Oh God!
Vale's a little safer, thanks to you.
You're turning a bounty?
By the finger. What do you have?
Here you go.
Gil Antrim. Real name, Guillaume. Duly processed by a freelancer on behalf of Spacer's Choice. I remember him. He was just a kid last I saw him. Shame. Well, that's all three. I must remember to requisition some more fingerprint ink. Here's all the compensation you've earned, plus a bonus.
Thank you very much. Number 2. All right. Let's take the geothermal plant. There we go. Okay. Looks like we had a little bit of a robo uprising here. Let's see here. Spacer's Choice. This letter serves as an informal notification of our company's displeasure towards your management of the Emerald geothermal plant for reasons related to exceeding your staff budget in your latest quarterly report. Please select 5 subordinates to be dismissed immediately. Additionally, please contact your office to schedule your official reprimand at your earliest convenience. Failure to schedule your official reprimand will result in an official reprimand. Collectively remind you that working for Spacer's Choice is not a right, but a privilege. I find you wealthy. After due consideration of your last letter, I have identified no fewer than 5 subordinates who are unable to provide sufficient justification for their ongoing employment. I would like to remind the Oversight Committee that while most of the Emerald Vale has failed to meet its production and output quotas, the Emerald Vale geothermal plant is providing cheap, cost-efficient power to the entire region. The claims made against the profitability of the greater Emerald Vale region, our offices agree with you. Agriculture and fishing canning experience a steady decline, while the Emerald Vale geothermal plant remains somewhat profitable. Our offices are currently investigating ways to implement additional cost-saving measures, which will ultimately lead to a leaner, more streamlined, more efficient geothermal plant. Please be informed that the Spacer's Choice Development and Oversight Office has taken a significant insurance policy against the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. I'd like to assure you that this insurance policy is a standard procedure. Do not attempt to interpret, understand, or otherwise extrapolate meaning from this decision. As a special courtesy, we have deployed a proprietary team of engineering specialists to the Emerald Vale geothermal plant. This team of specialists has been instructed to refit and upgrade the plant's population of auto mechanicals free of charge. Oh no! I know what happened. They were coming in to replace everybody. But then the auto mechanicals just went rampant. Let's clear out the place. Log. He's getting a whole head. Found him fiddling around with one of the mechanicals, so I had to write him up for tampering with company property. Just in case I'm reading this a couple days from now and feeling bad for what I've done, let me just remind myself that I've warned him before. He's always been a little crooked in the skull. On some logic module, confiscated it. Should be in my lock-away room for the foreseeable future. Don't sit around me. Company's been replacing our guards with auto mechanicals. At this rate, I'm going to end up a chief of security with no staff. Small army of mechanicals knocking about, guns pointed every which way. Company tells us they're safe, programmed to treat us humans like their own. People are able to break down, but an auto mechanical never will. I don't know. Doesn't sit right with me, but the company's never been wrong before, I suppose. Worse has happened. Mechanical's gone crazy. Lock myself down here, just trying to gather my courage. Gonna make a mad dash to the control room. Might be able to shut things down. Delete the sentry if I ever return. Initiated by Special Choice Worker Safety Contingency Protocols. Has been initiated. It's not a test or behavior during this lockdown will be reviewed during the quarterly result. During the quarterly audit. Anxiety is a common side effect of life-threatening situations engendered by security lockdowns. Security back. Fight back against anxiety with an ice cold bottle of... Oh my god. We had a quarrel. Lovers spat. I'm sorry, but my letter keeps coming back. The purchase had a team of technicians to conduct a complete refit of all of our mechanicals, every sentry and drone. But doesn't this run contrary to this mission was supposed to being as cheap as possible? Just in case I'm audited, I would like to formally express how grateful I am to be a part of the Citrus family. Just finished routine maintenance on our mechanical sentries. I found some strange modifications to their logic modules. Run a diagnostics, so I don't know what's been modified. Or were introduced on a recent refit. Company went through the trouble of refitting every single mechanical in the plant not long ago. For those visiting technicians. Not to worry about it, said the company knew what it was doing. Forget about any alleged modifications to the logic modules. Decided to do a bit of sleuthing around. Got my hands on a logic module. Time to do a little experimentation. Okay, we got the security chief. Found the card.
Not real. You're not real. Not real. You're not real. You're not real. You're not real. Get away from me, Phantom. Shoot. Scram.
Calm down. I'm not trying to hurt you.
You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting.
You're not imagining me.
Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder.
Okay, well, how long have you been down here?
Hard to say. By my reckoning, Higgins has been here somewhere between 2 weeks and forever. My recollection's a touch fuzzy these days.
And what exactly do you do here?
Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant.
Okay, so you were an engineer?
I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section.
Okay. This place looks like it's been abandoned for a while. What happened?
Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on anything that moved. It was pandemonium.
And you were killed?
I was on cleaning duty at the time. My old boss had me scrubbing pipes when the killing started. So, as usual, I missed out.
You must know a way to stop. If you worked on these mechanicals, you must know a way to stop them.
Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plan...
I can deal with the mechanicals. I made it this far, didn't I?
You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead.
Mechanicals follow the behavior of the logic module. Someone tampered with it.
Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you.
I can find a logic module?
Funny thing, I was working on a logic module just before the mayhem started. Security chief found me and confiscated the logic module.
Oh, okay. There's the logic module. Modify behavior. System mode. Mechanicals and mandated to remain in guard mode. But is punishable by law. Your infraction has been noted on the permanent record. See Higgins. Okay. Mechanicals have been mandated to target intruders. Any attempt to alter this setting is punishable by company law. Define intruders. All persons or entities not identified as property of spacious choice. Would you like to modify the definition of intruders? My guess about what happened here is either Spacer's Choice completely fired everybody at the plant and didn't tell them, or they just ran haywire to find intruders as Spacer's Choice auto mechanicals. So while that starts working on filtering itself out, redirect power. Safety failures detected. High likelihood of moderate to severe structural damage. Irreversible procedure. Okay, activate all 3 electrical track switches. All right.
That'll be easy enough.
Yep. Let's get it done. Point.
Where are we headed?
I noticed you mentioned your dad a lot, but not your mother.
That's on account of how I never met her.
You mean she's dead?
I don't rightly know. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here.
Is that normal?
I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
These don't seem very fond of you.
He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda.
I've not really seen a man with a bigger or more obvious crush.
I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst. If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him.
Mentioned something earlier.
About the mission being too clean?
Isn't it supposed to be clean? Why aren't you allowed in Moreau's store anymore?
There was a kind of a thing, the vending machine, when I was 12.
And that must have been forever ago. You were a kid.
Sure, but folks got long memories. I've always been good with my hands, right? So I saw a lock on the machine and thought, oh, this must be how they refill it. But I had to know. So I did my thing, and next thing I know, there's a couple hundred bottles of 0G rolling out the front door and into the road.
Oh, boy.
It's not funny.
It is.
Right about then, a bunch of loaders came rolling in the gate, fresh off the Saltuna ships.
Oh, no!
Mr. Thompson was up on the porch making a speech about how everyone would have to volunteer a third shift to get it all canned. Anyhow, you ever seen an auto loader run over a bottle of 0G?
Oh, no. Go on.
Exploded all over Mr. Thompson. One bottle after another as the loaders went by.
No.
I was just shy of working age, so Dad had to pay all the damages. Or else still angry. I can laugh about it now, but I just about puked up my guts in terror in the moment. That's the one time I ever made Mr. Thompson look a fool. I know, but real machine? The machine Vickers sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in.
Live in, but what we strive for.
It just comes off cold to me.
Let's get back to it. Hey.
Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear.
I'm willing to deal with Reed for you.
You offering to cross Reed off, huh? This some sort of twisted reparation for what you've done? Or are you just looking for a chance to sow some chaos? Kill Reed if you must, or talk him into leaving if you can. He and I are not sharing the same four walls together.
Everybody keeps staring at me.
I got one of those data pads you wanted.
No kidding.
On part 2.
Ain't that just ironic? 2 whole data pads?
Oh, I got one more for you.
Don't keep me in suspense. The geothermal plant? Now that is just incredible. You really went exploring down there? Adelaide always told us it was swarming with hostile mechanicals. That's a complete set. All 3 parts. I'm gonna be the greatest engineer Halcyon's ever seen. Aside from you, Miss Parvati, I swear, I'll do you proud.
I'm glad we could help, Thomas.
I've been saving something for you. Just a little contraption I found. Should fit right into your outfit.
We won't survive without power. It's time to go back to Edgewater.
I've been thinking about going back. I'm not much use to anybody here. I get sick thinking about working at the cannery. I can't do that again.
So, don't work at the cannery. You wanted to be an engineer.
You know something? I think you're right. The town could use another engineer, and I'm on my way to becoming one. I could do a lot of good in Edgewater. Maybe even keep a garage of my own with a little workbench and my very own toolbox. It's just... Adelaide's never gonna forgive me. Not in 100 years. I go crawling back to my old life in Edgewater, and I'm as good as dead to her.
Leave Adelaide behind, then. Edgewater needs you.
Are you sure about this? If we head back to Edgewater on our own, Adelaide won't come with us. She'll stay here and curse us till the end of her days.
I'm sure. You're better off in Edgewater. Let Adelaide stay here.
I expect we got no choice. Edgewater needs us back, and loath as I am to admit it, we need Edgewater. You okay with this, Grace?
My fears are all settled. Thanks for helping me with Zoe.
Just give us some time to gather our personals and say our goodbyes. If you run into Reed, you tell him we're coming back, yeah?
Yeah, like I suspected. It's not the fact that Reed is in power. No, it's just that Reed exists.
This is a fine day, friend. Power flows through our town like a cool stream of water. I trust Adelaide's people have seen their way to reason. So, when can I expect them back at their posts?
Adelaide won't come back to town, but her followers will.
That's good enough for me. Adelaide and I have a history. It was unlikely she'd ever come back. But hope springs eternal. We are in your debt. I am authorizing you for a discount on all official Spacer's Choice products, courtesy of the people of Edgewater.
We need to ask you. Remember by the time says he wants to be an engineer.
Thomas Kemp? I remember him. Had to write him up for daydreaming a few too many times.
You give him a chance. He's a decent mechanic. Parvati will vouch for him.
He tries real hard, Mr. Thompson. This is something he wants to do. That'll make him twice as good.
You may be right. And with the town set to grow, it is time I invested in a new mechanic.
What happens now?
This whole fiasco is not one I am keen on repeating. I was too hard on my own workers. I pushed them to their breaking point.
Good for you.
With more hands at the cannery, I expect productivity will rise. I expect we'll grow. And I expect I can ask corporate to send us some more medicine. We'll survive, one way or another.
Hell yeah, level up.
Never seen the Vale lit up like this before.
Mental logic module? Found one in the geothermal plant.
Bang up work, soldier. You're a credit to your uniform. Oh, that reminds me. Gotta look into getting us a uniform. So this is it then. The key to humanity's victory over the mechanical hordes. I would reward you with the gratitude of the Resistance, but I'm guessing you want something tactile. So here's a couple bits for your trouble, and a little something to remember me by.
Take care.
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. I'm the only decent mechanic Edgewater's got, but every time I think of going back, I get this sinking feeling.
I can understand not wanting to go back. You didn't seem happy in Edgewater.
Well, it's kind of you to say that. And you're right. I wasn't happy. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves from my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you think?
Hey, I'm glad to have you along. Pick a cabin. Cabin, it's yours.
Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
Alrighty.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Go for it.
Captain, I have detected that Edgewater's power supply is now optimal. I applaud your willingness to invest your time in the local community. What can I do for you, Captain?
Have the power regulator.
Do you know how to install a power regulator?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders.
I'll be back. Alright, let's go get this thing set up. And bonk. We got power. Ow.
What can I do for you, Captain?
The power regulator installed.
Operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Let's get out of here. Oh yeah, we're flying. We're flying. We're flying. Hell yeah. Gets no odds, the Unreliable takes flight.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Good, I've been waiting to hear from him.
Ah, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thawing, I assure you.
We're getting a little lightheaded. Also, I can slow down time.
Oh, that, yes, that's probably permanent. I wouldn't worry about it, though. I'm sure you're fine.
Uh-huh.
What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. We're dying. The chairman, the minister, and all their lackeys on the board are to blame. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. They can help us set things right. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me help us find the chemicals to revive your fellow colonists. Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the Groundbreaker. She can get you a nav key to land on Stellar Bay.
Fine, I'll go have a word with Gladys.
Excellent. I'll send her a wireless. Let her know you're coming. By the way, I gave Captain Hawthorne a disguise apparatus of my own design. Cutting-edge technology, years ahead of its time. I call it the holographic shroud. I'm sure it will prove remarkably useful to you. You'll find it in the captain's quarters.
He does have that look on her face like, this fucking dude. What a holographic shroud is?
Marvelous device. I'm quite proud of myself. The shroud changes the user's appearance to mimic that of another. It has limits. First-generation technology, you see, but promising. Exciting to see it in use at last. Very simply, the holographic shroud uses biometric information contained on standard identity cartridges to generate a holographic projection around you.
Okay, has limitations?
Only stands up to a casual scrutiny. Use it too long, bound to flicker, blur, something like that. Movement makes it more likely. Best used in moderation. When you see guards in your path you can't sneak past, for example. Maintain your distance. Act normal. No running, no jumping. Don't draw their attention. If they pay attention, they're more likely to notice flaws in the hologram.
Okay. Why do I need a gadget for this? Couldn't I just steal a uniform?
A change of clothes. What is this? Some old spy serial? What inattentive and brainless guard would be fooled by such a shabby disguise?
Fair.
The holographic shroud masks not only your clothes, but your face and fingerprints. It modulates your voice and sweetens your breath.
I'll put it to good use. Thank you.
I'll contact you once you've found a way to get to Stellar Bay. If you have any questions, come see me in my lab. And remember, don't trust the board. They'll try to win you over with promises of wealth and power, but it's a lie. The board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop to them, they're going to run this colony to the ground.
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Alright, got it. Let us head to the captain's quarters. Adelaide deserters dreamed of an independent life without board oversight. You taught them an important lesson. Never dream. Oh, God.
Make yourself at home, Captain.
There's a holographic shroud. Unread messages. Oh, I forgot to mention in my previous message, silly me, I'm mailing you a copy of my favorite cereal, Space Adventures of Singularity Steel. It's about establishing space power with a heart of, well, steel. It's not exactly board approved, so don't go showing it around to your spacer buddies. Hope it will amuse you while you're out adventuring. Any similarities to a certain someone are entirely intentional. Your message was hilarious and landed in your sense of humor and the tale of your hijinks. I hope your terminal will cooperate with the foreseeable future. Scraping Groundbreaker's comms network. Full. So. Why? Won't Wells just give the shrink ray to me? Blast him to the depths of the labyrinth and to Tartarus and back. Let the record show, I did apologize for shouting him down 5 times, but Architect be damned, it's just sitting there, neglected and gathering dust. I should have commandeered it and thanked him without asking permission. Or breaking expensive equipment that when he said it wasn't ready yet, and that even if it were, he couldn't entrust it to someone like me. What does it even mean, I ask? That I'm not trustworthy enough? That I'd use it to wipe out the good, hardworking folks of the colony like some sort of moralist psycho? I'll admit to maintaining some questionable associations, but I follow a strict code of me, myself, and mine. What's not to respect in that? Exactly. Now I have to wait until Wells forgets or thinks he's misplaced it. Oh my god. Okay. Look, there's no call for shouting. My terminal was busted. And a few too many and I might have knocked it off. I'm not telling you where Wells is, so lay off. Buy me a drink out the last soap next time I'm in, and I might forgive you. Alright. And with that, we are in space. I feel like this is a good place as any to stop the stream for tonight. So with this in mind, I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful night, and you all stay safe out there, okay?